The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy. Good morning. In with Pat Devaney, my co-host, fellow realtor.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well.
We have with us Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. Good morning.
Good morning, Jackie. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here again.
We're thrilled you are. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors who deliver extraordinary results. We have been appraising, listing, and selling real estate for over 50 years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com, or give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and see what's going on. Because I said last week we had an outage and we were getting emails and calls from all over the country. People were panicking. The webcam was down.
Well, thank God they did. Because
they did. I didn't know.
We didn't know, right? We changed a modem. And for some reason, it didn't get connected.
Whoever getting calls from across the pond?
No.
That would be impressive.
That would, yes. Well, we do get hits from
We do.
Other
we have what's called a heat map I can look at, and we get hits from all over the country. When I see a hit from Russia, I'm a little worried, but otherwise I'm okay.
Otherwise, I'm
everything's
comfortable.
good. Yeah.
I get a little uncomfortable when I see that one.
Yeah, really.
Look us up on social media, view our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com, JRUDDY.com, where we also display all the popular podcast apps that we featured this radio show on. Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. How long have you been doing interior decorating?
Over 20 years, which is shocking.
You've seen
because I'm only 24. No, it's over 20 years.
We see a lot of things come and go, fads, trends, so on and so forth, right? So last week we talked about the kitchen and all the new things that are happening there. There's a lot of excitement in the kitchen.
A lot of excitement in the kitchen. It's probably, I think, the fastest growing sector of interior design and home renovation. It's got to be the kitchen.
Well, that's where we spend a lot of our time, right?
Yeah.
And how we were talking on break, how
Heart of the home, right? Heart of the home.
The kitchen is, even in massive homes, has changed. It used to be like a 2x4 area, and now it's grown to like
these big, beautiful spaces with multi layers of function, and it's beautiful.
I spend all my time in the kitchen. I mean, if I'm not eating, we're just sitting at the kitchen table doing something on the computer or watching the TV or anything.
Yeah, we spend a ton of time in the kitchen. Yeah. A ton of time in it.
We also talked about color, the resurgence of color and design. You're thrilled about that. Gray is out.
And the happiness of that is wonderful.
And how do you do cohesive color throughout? Like sometimes I go through houses and I see the red room, the blue room, the green room. The yellow room. That's not cohesive.
It's not No, you're right. That's the opposite of cohesive. The way I think that probably the best way for you to achieve a cohesive look throughout a house and not just not paint the whole house one color, is to do it with gradations of the shade. So think of like a paint swatch. You go into Glico or Sherwin and you pick up that paint swatch out of the plastic container on the wall, and it has 5 different blues, and they move in gradation from lighter to darker, right? Mm-hmm. Take that same sample, and there it is. There's your palette. So do one room, one color, move up to the next, and do the next color, do another room, if you want that kind of change, but you'll gain continuity because every room is blue, but it's a different hue, and your eye transitions beautifully from one room to the other. So you get continuity, but you get a little variety too.
Okay.
There are other ways too. You can do you can repeat elements that are the same. Like, say, if you did the same window treatment, you did like a woven shade, but do it through the whole house. That's another way to gain continuity because your eye's seeing that over and over and over repetitively.
Gotcha. So what about if, some people, I personally, I'm on the safe side. I'm not a risk taker. I don't have bold colors or designs going on in the house. But if I wanted to add drama.
Yeah.
Let's call a few people. I got a few names. We can bring them over.
I know.
They'll bring some drama
Not
with them.
from people.
Bring it with them.
I got a few names.
But if I wanted to make a more dramatic statement, how would I do that? What is your way?
Probably your best way, if it's for somebody like you, Jackie, and you're like, I don't want to paint teal. I can't. That's too much for me. Then my advice would be then for you to take a major wall, say in your living room or in your family room, and put the biggest piece of art that wall can handle. And that's a great way to create that drama and interest. And then if you ever change, you just move the piece of art. So you didn't make a big commitment, but it is a very impactful way to achieve that.
All right, that's a good way. And is molding something that can achieve a dramatic look?
Absolutely. It can.
But molding could be wrong too. I mean,
It can be.
So if your ceiling height isn't such a certain level,
You've got to be careful because you could pull the ceiling down visually, which is probably the opposite, I think, of what anybody wants to do. But doing molding treatments on the walls, it's also specific. Again, if you're in California and you have a true mid-century modern home that's very sleek and straight, you can't do picture frame wainscoting on your walls.
No.
It's going to look odd. It wouldn't be the right fit. So it's not the right answer for every environment.
okay. How about these ceiling tiles that seem to be popping up everywhere? I see them in places that, we frequent. They're
Yeah.
pressed ceiling tiles, 2x2. They were common in 19th century.
Yeah, they were.
Okay. And they come in all different, like bronze and.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're drop ceilings.
They're drop ceilings. They go in a grid pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like
Drop
the old
ceilings.
tin ceilings.
Yeah.
They look like the old tin ceilings.
Some of them are very nice.
Very nice.
I think they can be great, especially, if you're if you're finishing a basement, that's great because it can cover all the plumbing and all the duct work and things like that. So, yeah, they definitely have a home.
Because I go into some houses and I see the drop ceiling. I'm like, ugh.
Oh, I know. I couldn't even imagine what you guys see.
But
yeah,
that would be a
it's
nice
not-
way to change it up and to make it look like it's not a drop ceiling.
It would, it would look much better.
It's cheaper than doing the construction.
Yeah.
And I've also seen where people have taken like a chair railing and they haven't done it correctly. They could make the room look
Odd.
You mean the placement of it? Like if they placed it too high
right
or too low?
or too low.
Yeah.
How about arched doorways? If you-
I'm a fan. I love them. I'm a fan. But again, it depends on the style of the house. Because if you're in a really contemporary house,
Oh, that wouldn't work.
You have glass walls, and that's not going to work. Again, it has to fit in style and feel of the home itself. Then I think they're fantastic. The lovely thing about them is they make every ceiling look taller because of the arch. It gradually pulls your eye upward, so it actually makes your ceiling look higher than it actually is.
So are they hard to do in a house that already has the doorway set?
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen people do them. It's more of a contractor question, I guess. But I've seen a lot of people, and if people are open to it, I'll suggest it and they'll do it. But I don't think they're harder. It's just you need more of a skill set, right, as a contractor to do those
Okay.
because of the curve.
So the chair railing, rail molding, like say on a dining room wall, is there a trick to installing that from like how far from the floor should it be?
You should be at least 36 inches up from the floor, at the least.
Because it won't look right.
Actually, lower isn't as bad as higher. Too high is worse.
Okay.
Too low. I've gone into some beautiful older homes, and sometimes it is lower, but that's around the 36-inch mark at the lowest point. Lower than that, it's going to look odd.
How about a plate rail molding.
Oh yeah,
around-
but that should be higher.
That's higher.
That's higher. That's up around 5 or 6 feet
But a lot of people like to do those.
or 7 feet. You know,
And
What's a plate? What's a plate rail?
they put their fine china.
Oh,
it runs
okay.
around a room and it's
okay.
a very thick molding.
Yes,
so you can
yes.
place
Okay.
china on it. Yeah,
I got you.
See, I think it's a pretty look as long as it's not my house and I don't have to
Clean it.
clean
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
dust off everything because
Get up there and clean
But
it.
it's-
And
And then you have to be careful if you have it, right? Clutter, because that's a big deal. I think it's one of the worst things that can destroy the look of a beautiful room is clutter.
I can put all little Hummels up there.
I'm. Wait, Pat, you have Hummels? I didn't see that coming.
No, I
Jackie,
don't.
did
No,
you
I
know
don't.
about
No,
I
no.
think
Are they
they're
hidden in the garage?
I think they're horrible.
no, thank you. No.
We could do Target
Yeah.
and shoot them.
How about baseboards to add some drama to
Absolutely.
a room? You know,
Baseboards are beautiful. And even in a contemporary environment, you could still do them. You know, just do flat stock. Don't dress it up and keep it clean. And they look great. They add
do.
another layer, another dimension, right? It's
bring
just
some
a beautiful
personality
effect,
into
yeah.
the room. Okay. All right. And
And I love the idea of doing, going into a space like that. I'm talking about a space that's really molded out. So you have baseboard, you have picture frame wainscoting, top and bottom of the wall, and then a beautiful big crown. One of my favorite things to do is to paint the whole thing one color. Don't break it off. Don't do a white bottom or anything.
yes.
Molding, wall, trim, crown, everything one color. It always looks beautiful.
Okay.
And glossier finishes are back, and they're big. They're very, very big.
But the
look
placement
amazing.
of these taller baseboards
Yeah.
or the chair rails or the plate rails, you want to make it just right so that the room is not out of place.
Correct.
There's a trick to that.
I don't think there's a trick. They're just kind of like those rules. Like I said, the 36-inch rule, it's a big deal. That's a rule. You drop lower, and it's going to look like, I don't know, do you have an oversized baseboard? Or, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't appeal to the eye. And just because even if you have say if you had a 20-foot ceiling, you just don't want to take that chair rail and move it up way high because you have a ceiling really high. It doesn't work out that way.
What are your interior design tricks for decorating small rooms?
Oh, these are good ones. Cohesive. So doing the room all in one color is a big deal because it makes it feel bigger. Paint it white is a big deal. Makes it feel bigger. The other thing is if there is the availability to do it and you can take out a door and a hinge and replace it with a pocket, that's a really smart thing to do because it helps you with furniture placement in smaller rooms like that. It eases up the placement. You don't have to worry about the door swing anymore. And another big key in those environments are mirrors. Mirrors are a big deal because you can open those walls up. You could do one big mirror. You could do a gallery wall of all mirrors, but it makes the space look larger. And also the other benefit is, because it's two-layered, is it reflects a ton of light back into the room. So that's a great thing to do in small spaces. That's a great little trick to help them feel bigger, look bigger, not feel so crammed in and cave-like.
Okay, good.
And lift the ceiling. Even if you wanted to do, even if you were staying in that cohesive color palette, paint the wall in stripes. So you'd have like one ivory stripe and one flat and one semi-gloss. Paint stripes on the walls, but vertically because it's going to push the ceiling up. And anytime the ceiling's higher, the room looks bigger.
The same color?
Every time. Same color.
Oh, just different.
Different sheens.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's going to make the room look bigger.
And look like wallpaper.
Yeah.
Without
it would look like
without the
wallpaper, Pat.
problems.
Let's not be saying wallpaper has no problem. Let's clarify.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you wanted to change it.
Yeah. Yeah, then you just paint over it.
Okay,
For sure.
so where should people spend and save in their home, room by room? If they want to refresh in the room, but they don't have an unlimited budget,
Yep.
where are the most important areas they should spend and save? Where can they pull back?
I think you can. I would probably put my money or splurge in that tighter budget into better pieces, because then you don't replace them. And that's a big deal. And that's where you really do save money, because you're not replacing things. Replacement is big. And, with the number, everything costs more and more every single year. That's never going away. It's always going to be that way. So you would just spend more money by replacing things. So put the investment in better pieces that you don't have to replace. That's a really smart move. And then do things like go into Marketplace. You can find great things in there for a song, and that can help your budget a lot. And then I think know your look is really important, because then you could start to search in a very specific area and find the things that you need at a better price, rather than hunting all over the place.
Like dining room sets, like a dining room table. People use that for the kitchen table, and you can get some high quality, top
super high quality
stuff.
You'll never replace it
for a bargain. On the marketplace.
You're correct.
You can really
correct.
Get a score and save thousands of dollars.
Yeah, and then you could update that whole thing. Say if you bought it, just eliminate the armchairs and go out and buy 2 fully upholstered chairs, and you'll update the whole look of it. And then maybe a more current chandelier or something in the room like that, or 2 of them, but something more contemporary, more updated, would help evolve the whole look. But you saved on those pieces, but you got quality pieces.
Good. All right. What are the most requested design styles that you're seeing today?
The most requested are, the words are casual. People love casual, but they love it with a twist. Everybody, I think personalizing it's really important. And I get a lot of questions about personalization. That's a big trend. And it's also a really important trend, because it's what makes your house, it creates a look, I think, more than anything else does. Because it relates to and expresses the style of the person who lives in the house. And you can actually start to build and create a look based on that, which is going to be different from any other look, right? Because I don't want everybody to walk into my house and feel like, oh, I've seen that. Oh, I've seen that. You want it to be personalized. You want it to be individualized. And I think I see it. I get every client I work with ends up doing that, whether they ask for it or they don't. They all end up doing that. And it's the right thing to do. And the other thing that I see is, farmhouse is still big. It's fading. And you're seeing layered textures. That's a big deal. So textures in fabrics and things that are tactile that make you want to touch them, but layering those things. So seeing something like a very smooth leather chair, and then maybe the sofa is in like a looped boucle fabric. So it has all this texture, or in a big linen weave. So to pile it up, you'll get interest there. But I see a lot of people asking for that.
So if you're doing a design for somebody, and you're talking about all of these different things would you go and get the furniture for them, or do they shop for the furniture? You know what I'm saying?
I shop for it either for them or with them, one or the other.
With them, okay.
For them or with them, one or the other. Because that's like letting somebody loose.
I was going to say, can you imagine letting like Sally go loose, and then she buys something that doesn't fit into the design that you have? You need to keep...
Yeah, it has to stay in those parameters, So it's always that guidance and assistance. It's constant.
Scott Frazier, owner of Infant Interiors. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
My cell is 570-933-0495. My email is my name, SCOTTFRAZIER, 1219@gmail.com.
Thank you, Pat.
Yes, we have a 4-bedroom home at 945 North Irving Avenue in Scranton for only $169,000. This great home has been well kept, and it won't last long at this price. There's original hardwood flooring under the carpet, and the home has beautiful original woodwork throughout, and it's on a 40 by 160 lot with a level fenced-in rear yard. This home also has a new roof, a new water heater, and a newer 200-amp electrical panel. That's a 4-bedroom home in Scranton's Hill section at 945 North Irving Avenue for only $169,000. And that's listed by Jessica Ruddy of our office.
Thank you. I want to talk about our special sponsor this week is 1031 Corp. They help real estate investors defer capital gains when selling and reinvesting in business, use, or investment properties. 1031 Corp is the middleman you need to help you complete a 1031 exchange. And over the 3 decades, they have mastered how to keep the exchange process easy for you. Their exchange experts will educate you on 1031 exchanges. They will review your situation and walk you through the entire process. If you own an investment or business property, whether it is residential or commercial, contact 1031 Corp to learn how you can exchange into a property that works better for you while deferring the capital gains and depreciation recapture so you can keep your hard-earned equity working in your next property. Call 1031 Corp 1-800-828-1031 or visit 1031corp.com. Stick around for more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be right back. Are you ready to make your next move in the world of real estate? Look no further than Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, your trusted partner in buying and selling homes. If you're a homeowner looking to sell, Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate will ensure you get the best possible price in today's competitive market. And if you're in the market to buy your dream home, Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate will help you find the perfect place to call your own.
Congratulations.
We've adopted the popular saying, an educated consumer is our best customer. That's why since 2010, we've hosted the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate Saturdays at 11 a.m., Sundays at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 The Talker. Visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com or call 570-344-6724. Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, where dreams find their address. It's time to dive back into the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We're in with Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me back, Jackie Ruddy. I look forward to these programs.
I love when you're here. You give us lots of good advice. We want to move to the outside of the home now.
Let's do that. That's
All right.
so important.
It is, because we're in the spring market, right? We want curb appeal.
What's the first thing you see when you walk up to the house is the front porch.
All right.
It's the most important thing.
So let's talk about that. How would you achieve curb appeal with, I mean, we're talking about all different styles of home, but what to do and what not to do in a general sense?
I think some of the obvious things, but I'll say them anyway because they're obvious to me. They may not be obvious to everybody, but keep it neat and clean, right? We want everything to be showing its best side. So make sure the front of the house, we don't want shovels laying out from when the snow was shoveled and a bag of rock salt and things like that. We don't want that.
Should I take my Christmas lights down?
No, and turn them on too, Pat. Turn them on. As bright as they can go. No. Take the Christmas lights down.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you want to have all of your planting beds and all your landscaping as neat as a pin.
Nice mulch.
Yeah, or stone or you're right. Whatever is in your planting beds, make sure that it's kept up and it looks good and it's presentable and it's as good as it can possibly look. Put a little effort into it, and I think that return would really work out. If somebody gets out of a car, think of yourself as a home buyer, and if I step out of the car and I look and it looks kind of shoddy outside, the paint's peeling. It's kind of the yard's kind of a mess. I'm immediately going to be turned off.
So paint the steps, and how about the front door and colors? Let's talk about colors.
Yeah.
What ones to avoid?
I don't think there are really any colors to avoid.
Yellow.
No, I think yellow can look beautiful. If you have a blue house and you paint your front door yellow, it'll be gorgeous, like a gray slate blue. with a yellow door, that color combination is beautiful.
Just by painting the front door of the house, you can
Change everything.
Change everything.
So much.
Just a little can of paint and about a half hour,
absolutely
and
true.
you change everything.
There's a house by us in between you and I, because we're both in Greenridge, that somebody that I was so happy about bought and is renovating. It's the brick Georgian colonial with the 2-story columns in the front. You know the one I'm talking. Somebody bought it, I think, last year. It was vacant for a long time.
Oh yeah,
and they're restoring it, right? And every time I drive by, I want him to paint the door red or teal, like a blue teal. Like I want him to, or hunter green. Like I want him to paint that door so bad because it would just really elevate the look of that house from the street. Whoever bought it is doing a great job, though.
Okay. All right. So, and then if you have a plain house, maybe add some flower boxes to
Add
the
some
window.
flower boxes. Add some flowers. Add some
On every
color.
window, or just a couple?
I'm an every window guy. I'm a committer because I think if not, then think of this: like you're looking at the front of the house, and say there's 7 windows. Let's say that, right? And well, we put window boxes on 3. We didn't touch the rest. It looks like you didn't finish it.
Okay.
It also makes, I think it looks a little confused. That cohesiveness of one on every window is appealing. It makes the house look more appealing.
And complete.
And complete.
How about furniture? Should it match the design and style of the house?
Yes.
Okay.
It should. It should be in step with the style of the house.
How about a lot of furniture versus just a few pieces?
No, I think it has to work in scale and proportion with the space that you have. That's how you're going to dress it correctly. That's how you're going to furnish it correctly. Don't overstuff it and don't not do enough. Both are wrong because both are going to lead you to a bad situation.
You can
visually and functionally.
And you can change the look of the furniture by changing the cushions.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
the big deal.
really inexpensive. You can go to Kmart or whatever you're going to go. But we also went to Keystone Upholstery, and we had him.
Oh yeah,
we had him make stuff that is super high quality.
Yeah,
and it looks great. So he can do whatever you want down there too.
And the other thing is, if the cushions are loose and they're movable, I would definitely, if you went somewhere like Keystone and you had them do that upholstery for you, just they're upholstering the cushions.
And they have so many choices.
I would do 2 sides. I would have one side be one fabric and the reverse side be another, so you can change that look.
That's a good idea.
Over and over. Just flip all the cushions over.
Now you're going to give Jackie, now we're going to...
Don't mix them up. Don't be flipping some and not all of them. Flip all of them. Because I think people are like, ooh, this is a great idea, and they do something quirky like that, and it just looks quirky and odd. It doesn't look good.
It looks like the designer's been drinking.
It does.
Let's move to the back. So a lot of people are spending some time in the back, decks and patios.
Yeah, I call it outside living spaces. And I think a lot of people in the design industry do. Because it is. It's now those spaces have become an extension of the house. There's so much more than what they ever used to be. You know, gone are the days of the little barbecue and a picnic table. It's beautiful spaces with outdoor kitchens and outdoor sectionals and
TVs,
fireplaces,
pergolas
and fans. They're really beautiful spaces. And for all that good weather, you can extend really the usable square footage of your house because that becomes an outdoor room.
But you've also seen in your industry and when you're going to places, people that do decks incorrectly. They don't match the house.
It needs to stay in style of the house. It should not be today's current or contemporary deck on a Victorian house. It's never going to look right. It should stay in step with the style of the house all the time.
So consider that when they're...
Always consider it. Yeah.
Right. We had our neighbors just do the deck on the back of the house. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Matches the house perfectly, comes off the roof, and it's so beautiful.
Done.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Like, we don't want to see a Georgian colonial and I go in the back and you have glass railings, right? Or tension wire railings. It's going to look terrible. Those styles don't match. So you definitely want to stay in step with the house.
Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. How does someone get in touch with you?
You can reach me on my cell, 570-933-0495, or you can email me It's my name, Scott Frazier, SCOTTFRAZIER, 1219 at gmail.com.
That's all for today's Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21, Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM, The Talker. We'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m.